Hello y'all, what's up? Today we're going to be looking at his story guy. Apparently there's Chester lore. There's Chester lore to this. All I've heard is Chester lore, and this guy is a great storyteller. Let's see if he's actually a great storyteller or this guy just is a copycat of her story. I've watched her story, but not his story. I know I'm a boy. Have I never heard of his story? Bro, I started watching her story like 2 days ago. I watched something and said like, oh my goodness, his story is insane. Let's go check it out. I didn't want to spoil myself, so I'm like, okay, I should make a video on it. This guy. Let's see if he's a good YouTuber. Now we're here today. Sorry if you hear some sounds. As you know, I'm on mobile, so if you hear anything like on my shorts, sorry about that. I need to get better quality. Yeah. I already did. He's not answering. I sent him a voice message, but he hasn't responded yet. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. Jinnah, I literally tried it 2 minutes ago, and it's still not working.
Just one more time.
Jinnah, I literally tried it 2 minutes. No, just go back into mommy's room if you want, because it's not working, okay? Okay, anyway, let's check out his story. Sorry about that, y'all. I don't really know how to clip parts of my video, so let's check out his story.
I slammed my fist on my birthday cake and rolled my wheelchair out of the house. I needed a...
Okay, wait a second. Let me turn on my face cam. What? Bruh, if I did that, I wouldn't be here today. Okay, I'm joking, but that's just insane to do. That's insane.
A breath of fresh air because I couldn't believe my family hadn't shown up to my birthday. But
Wait,
that's
your
when I...
family didn't show up to your birthday? Okay, I understand. Who's behind you, bro? Is someone trying to kidnap you? Apparently there's Chester lore. I'm gonna look at the short and then like half of the video I'll react to the rest of it in another video, so yeah.
felt a pair of hands grab the back of my wheelchair and start pushing me down the empty sidewalk, away from home. I tried to look back to see who it was, but the man was wearing a hoodie that covered his face. I tried reaching back and waved my hands. What are you doing? Let me go. The man didn't respond and just continued to roll my wheelchair. My eyes started to fill...
You're right next to him. Just punch him. And then roll your wheelchair as fast as you can, bro. Actually, that wouldn't be a good idea because if he catch... Okay, enough yapping.
With tears because I was sure I was being kidnapped on my birthday. A man I had never seen had taken full control of my wheelchair, and there was nothing I could do. He was leading me
I have a prediction. I've seen enough movies to know this. Maybe that's his dad. Maybe the one that's kidnapping him is his dad, and he has a surprise for him. I've seen enough movies to know this.
Directly towards an empty building, but I wasn't going to just let him kidnap me without fighting back. I began breathing.
I think it's his dad. Maybe it is, or maybe it's actually a kidnapper. But I think it's his dad, though.
Faster, looking left and right, trying to figure out...
And y'all may be wondering why am I not in school. Bro, it's Saturday. It's flipping Saturday, dog. Anyway. I'm talking to the adults. If DJ Life Turbo react to this, I doubt it. But yeah, it's Saturday, bro.
out what I could do to get out, and that's when I remembered I had a phone. I pulled it out of my pocket as fast as I could, but at that exact moment, the wheelchair hit a bump and the phone flew out of my hands. I was desperate to survive, so I grabbed the wheels with my bare hands. Please just tell me what you want. My family doesn't have a lot of money, but he stayed completely silent and only pushed harder. My heart was hammering and my hands were shaking on the wheels as he pushed me into the building. He kicked the metal door open into total blackness, and I was sure I was about to vanish into it and never come back. The door banged shut behind us, and the lights slammed on all at once. A room packed with everyone I loved leaped up screaming happy birthday. My mom right in front holding a cake glowing with candles. It turned out that every minute I had spent thinking I was being kidnapped, my family had been planning to surprise me with a huge party. The man let go of my handles, pulled down his hoodie, and it was my uncle. Happy birthday, kid.
It was his uncle, but close enough. Close enough. I was like 99% right. No, I'm doing too much. 90% right.
Sorry about the scenic route. My heart started pounding harder and harder, so I clutched my chest with both hands. Then everything started going dark. I fell out of my wheelchair and slammed my face right into the birthday cake. In the distance, I could hear my mom go, "Oh no, he's having a heart attack." I slammed my fist on my
That's the craziest story I've heard in my life. Okay.
I held up my cardboard sign on the corner for the 50th morning straight.
Is this guy racist? Why does he make the guy in the story black and... Oh my god. Okay, whatever.
Immigrated from Somalia to USA. I was making the final payment on my stepdaughter's wedding venue when she walked in,
And of course the white one's rich. Of course. Let's just get on with the video. Enough with this. You didn't order a Yapatron, you ordered a reaction video.
The arm of a man I'd never seen before. Stepdad, meet my real dad. My head started spinning on the spot. Your real dad? You mean the guy who's been gone for 20 years? She smiled and squeezed his arm. Yeah, and you're not invited to the wedding anymore now that he's here.
What?
My face went red and my card slipped out of my hand because I'd raised her since she was 7, and now...
You raised her since she was 7. Her real dad was gone for 7 years. For 20 years. And now she's going with her real dad instead of her bio dad or stepdad. I don't know about that, but I don't know how someone can become your bio dad or stepdad. I only know how someone can become your uncle. Your dad's brother is your uncle. If your dad even has a brother. If your mom has an uncle. Okay, enough yapping.
No, I wasn't invited to her wedding. The man stepped forward and held out his hand. Appreciate the help, buddy, but I've got it covered from now. I ignored his hand and asked my stepdaughter who was walking her down the aisle, but he answered for her. That'd be me. My chest went cold, so I reminded her who paid for every chair in the room. She rolled her eyes. So what? I never asked you to do that. My fists were trembling with rage, so I stepped towards him and asked where he'd been all this time. But he threw his hands up and stumbled back like I'd swung at him, and my jaw dropped. My stepdaughter stepped between us. Stop! You're hurting my real dad. So I put my hands down and made my voice small. He can walk you down the aisle. Just give me a seat at the wedding so I can watch you get married. But she shook her head with a frown. No, I want my real dad to be happy. You're not invited. That's when my wife walked in and hooked her arm through his while my face got redder and redder. She looked at him and smiled. Is he still fighting us? Gosh, he's so embarrassing. He laughed and stepped forward to squeeze my shoulder. Thanks for keeping her warm till I could get back, buddy. That's when my eyes turned gray, and I turned to look at the wedding planner. Cancel everything. I'm not paying for this venue. My stepdaughter's face went red and she grabbed my sleeve. Wait, stop. But I was already grabbing my phone and calling every single vendor. The hall came apart right in front of us. Linens rolled off in armfuls. Lights went out.
If they don't want to be your family, cancel everything. That's right.
Row by row, and chairs rolled out the doors while my stepdaughter, my wife, and their new favorite man stood with their mouths open. I put the phone back in my pocket, told my stepdaughter, your real dad's got it covered from now. Then I walked out. They spammed my phone with calls the next morning, but I put it on Do Not Disturb and went back to relaxing on my yacht. I was making the final payment.
That is insane, bro. Let's do the next one. Remember, y'all, tomorrow, I'm gonna gotta do it today because I only got Saturdays for days off. Maybe Sunday I have a day off. Because I didn't start school on Sunday. It started on Monday. So, maybe Sunday's the day off? Maybe? Okay.
On my stepdaughter's wedding venue when she walked in, holding the arm of Dustin called me scared of the deep end in front of half the pool, so I lied.
All I saw was the hair of Chester. Isn't that supposed to be Chester? Is this supposed to be Chester lore?
And told him I wasn't scared. I just didn't do regular dives anymore. He asked what I did do. My mouth said, the flying shrimp, before my brain could stop it. Dustin crossed his arms. Never heard of it. It's advanced, I said. They don't allow it at public pools. He walked over to the rule board and read every line out loud. No running, no glass, no horseplay. He turned around. Nothing about shrimp. Dustin looked at the crowd and said, guess he doesn't know how to do it. If I didn't jump, every kid at the pool would know he was right. I grabbed my cousin's full-face swim goggles and snorkel from his bag by the snack bar, pulled them over my face, and tried to tighten it. But Dustin yelled, let's go, shrimp, before I could
But then this is a boat, and then I pretend to beat you with it.
Jenna, that's bad. No, I'm trying to watch this.
figure out how to tighten the strap. If I was going to die on this diving board, I was at least going to look official. Half the pool followed me to the high dive.
You're gonna try to look official when you're gonna die? What? That's the most stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Dustin climbed up right behind me, close enough that I could hear him laughing through his nose. He cupped his hands around his mouth. Flying shrimp. The chant started right away from the pool below. Shrimp, shrimp, shrimp. I walked to the end of the board, adjusted the giant mask, and looked down foggy plastic. The lifeguard blew her whistle. Jump or climb down. Climb down sounded perfect. I turned around, took one careful step toward the ladder, and the loose snorkel swung into my mouth. I spit it out, stepped wrong, and my wet heel slid off the edge. My heel went out from under me, and I grabbed for the rail but caught Dustin's ankle instead. He went tumbling off the platform right behind me. The snorkel spun away like a tiny helicopter. I hit the water sideways, knees up, arms wrapped around my legs, curled into the exact shape of a shrimp half a second before Dustin landed beside me. We both came up at the same time, me coughing with water shooting out of my nose, Dustin sputtering with my full face goggles crooked across his eyes, the nose cover mashed sideways with his cheek. The chant flipped. Dustin got shrimped. Dustin got shrimped. The lifeguard walked to the pool board, picked up the chalk, and wrote one new line under no horseplay, no flying shrimp. I pulled the snorkel back into my mouth and said, that's why it's advanced. Dustin called me scared of the deep.
Advanced, yo, this guy's stories are actually insane. But let's actually go to his most popular videos. Wait, no, let's go to his most. Okay, these are his most latest videos. Let's go to his most popular videos.
My twin brother Chris and I were 9 when we learned Morse code. We tapped messages under the dinner table.
There's a part, I tapped back part 2. The heart emoji.
When Mom told us to stop talking and tapped through the wall between our bedrooms every night. When Chris got into a car accident and the doctor said he'd never wake up. I pulled up a chair next to his bed, took his hand, and tapped. Are you there? Nothing. But I came.
That has to be so sad. Your brother goes in a flipping coma. Bro, if I had a brother and he went into a coma, I would cry my heart out.
Back the next afternoon and tapped again. Before I left, I always said the same thing.
I only have 4 minutes to record this. So I'm gonna have to post this and then make another. Yeah, so. Is it August? I think it's August. I don't know.
See you tomorrow, Chris. A week later. Chris's fingers twitched against mine, and I almost fell out of my chair. I grabbed a nurse, and she barely looked up. They're reflexes. It doesn't mean anything. I bought a notebook the next
Frick that teacher. No. I meant the doctor. Why am I thinking about the teacher?
day and started writing down every single one.
Okay, yo, that's it. Peace. Oh, I gotta make another video. But yeah, bye. See you later, y'all. And you're gonna be able to see this video because it is Saturday. School just started. Maybe not for some people in different states, different countries, and people on Mars. Okay, I'm joking. Those are astronauts. Anyway, y'all, see you later. Peace out.